Beginning resynchronization.
Hello and welcome to Resync, a podcast where friends talk about games. I'm Sam.
My boy! And I'm Chase.
And I'm Kelly, back for 3 in a row, you guys. That's so exciting.
Yeah. You're basically a permanent host.
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding.
I could be. I'll think about it. I'll get, you know what? I'll talk to my lawyer. I'll get back to you.
No.
It's okay. Me and Sam have already talked about just locking you in the studio, so
that's true.
Oh.
you're not allowed to leave.
Okay.
This room is the dungeon anyway.
Okay, I feel like you really need to give context for that.
What do you mean?
What context is needed?
Never mind. Never mind. I think I've been reading too much. Never mind.
So, anyway, today we're going to be talking about our first impressions of Metroid Fusion, and then we're going to shift into conversation about handheld gaming and all variations of that sphere. But to get us started, Kelly, I know you have some questions for us about Metroid.
I do. I think before we dig into those questions, though, I just want to hear your guys' general thoughts about the overall game.
So I can jump in first because I definitely went a little above and beyond on the prerequisites for our first impressions, and I went ahead and beat it.
That is crazy.
So I have been enjoying playing it. I know I've brought up to Sam that I think I might have to invest in the newest. I believe it's a 2D scroller Metroid that came out, Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because this definitely scratched an itch that I didn't really realize I had. Maybe it is nostalgia, but I don't believe I have that much built up for Metroid. But I really, really enjoyed getting back into it. The way that abilities play off of each other and expand upon themselves has been fun.
Yeah, the movement in Metroid feels so good. There are a couple things that I won't get super into because I know Sam hasn't beaten the game yet. I have not beaten the game. You guys, for context, Chase came over to our home today. And I was like, "So what do you think of Metroid?" And he goes, "Oh, I beat it." I was like, "What do you mean?"
I set myself a goal. I told myself that Sam is the resident Metroidvania guy. So I was like, I've got to have it done. I've got to prove that I can do this.
I don't know if I deserve that title because this is my first time playing a Metroid game, and also I've only ever played Hollow Knight and Blasphemous.
That's
so
fair.
There's not a whole lot of experience with Metroidvanias. I just like the ones that I've played. But with this one, I have been enjoying it as well. I feel like I was surprised to find the story as interesting as it has been for me. Mainly because I think the two main examples of Metroidvanias that I have played have kind of been the storytelling has been through the world, and it's been more like a Souls game where there's implied story and you have to interact with every NPC and read every item description to get all of the story out of it. But with this one, it's a lot more linear, and that's refreshing, especially after having played Silksong for a while, which I've been really enjoying. But it's a very contrasted experience going from Silksong to Metroid, because it is so linear. So I've had a good time with that, seeing the direct objectives pop up and being oh, sick, I can just go do this and just blast through this. So that's been fun. I definitely haven't beaten it yet, but I have a list. I took notes as I've been playing. So I have gone through the first sector, the second sector, and just made it to the fourth sector. So I've fought the first 3 bosses so far. So I've gotten the morph ball, the charge beam, and then the high jump and jump ball abilities, as well as like obviously the missile and bomb data has been downloaded. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm a big fan of the sci-fi setting, and like it is giving me like big like alien vibes, which is cool. I've enjoyed that, and I'm sure, Chase, with you having been watching Alien Earth, I'm sure that's kind of stuck out as well.
Yeah, I've definitely had a few moments finding hidden walls that you have to go through with the morph ball and being like, oh, I wonder if something else could be slinking around.
That's
Yeah.
one of my questions that I have lined up for you guys is what you think about the hidden walls. Because me personally, I think they're super cool, but also sometimes they fucking piss me off.
Yeah, I mean, I will find all the secrets in a game. Like that's I think one of the reasons it takes me so long to beat games like this, especially, is that like I'm going to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb. So I've definitely just been shooting the walls and like putting bombs down.
Oh, yeah, that's what
Like
you have
in
to
every
do.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for our listeners who don't have any experience with Metroid Fusion or haven't played Metroid Fusion, there's this system where when you look at the map, I believe I can't remember, I'm going to get it backwards, I just know it. There are two colors of rooms that you see on the map. They're pink and they are green, and I believe the pink rooms are rooms that are like immediately seen or mapped on your map. And then the green rooms are rooms that were hidden to you initially.
Oh,
which
I didn't
means,
know that.
Yeah, which means that you either found another route to get to these rooms, or that they were rooms that were initially supposed to be hidden and you blast your way through a wall to get to it. So for Metroid specifically, it does not hand you anything easily, which is something that is very, very refreshing. Because I know that you guys talked about this a little bit in the episode when you were talking about tutorials, which is another question I have that I'll bring up in a little bit, is that Metroid Fusion, like I said, does not hand you anything. So there were times when I was playing this game, walking around, and it's like, hey, find a path to the security room to unlock these doors.
Oh yeah, I just did that.
And I'm like, okay, well, how the hell do I get there? Because everything is blocked off and there are all these hidden walls that you have to look around and like shoot the walls and see where you can find a secret way in. And sometimes it's even like there's just like this little hidden shaft in the wall where you don't even have to shoot anything. You just have to literally run up to walls until you find a way in.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely a source of frustration for me a few times playing the game.
Yeah, I'm curious, especially as you get deeper, Sam, with you saying like you go over everything with a fine-tooth comb. There were so many times, especially like most often when it came to getting access to the special security terminals to unlock their color-coded doors.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go like do some exploration. I'm going off on my own route, and then find like a secret spot in the wall. And then be like, oh, that was really hidden. I just found something cool. And then it would be the path that you're intended to take. And I'd be like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that I could have found that if I wanted to, so much as I got lucky and was just like, oh, I wonder what'll happen.
I'll be interested to see how the later security rooms, how hidden they are, because the first security room felt pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To unlock level 1 security doors, it felt pretty easy to find that room.
Yeah, I fear there were several times where I got pissed and was just like, where's this room? And
You looked it up?
Yeah.
Hey, no shame in that.
I was getting mad. I was like, well, and to be fair, it's not a situation. Well, you know this very well, because you know that when I initially can't find things, I get very frustrated. Mm-hmm. That holds true in games and also in real life. But I really, really tried to put in the effort before I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to look this up. There were times where I was running around areas that I knew there was a hidden path and just could not find it for like 15 to 20 minutes. I would use up all my missiles. I would use up all my bombs, and I was getting annoyed as shit because I was like, okay, wherever I end up, I am damn sure there is going to be a boss fight on the other side of this wall, and I'm not going to have any of my missiles or bombs, and it's going to make me super upset. So I'm just going to restart from a checkpoint and look up how the hell to get through this wall.
Yeah, I haven't had to do that yet, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I think I've been primed pretty well for this kind of game because I've been playing Silksong. And going from Silksong to Metroid Fusion has felt like a huge change because Metroid Fusion, obviously, one of the namesakes of Metroidvanias, and it's older. And after having played Silksong for a while, I can definitely feel that age in the movement, especially. So, like, the level design hasn't necessarily been stumping me at all, but, like, just the movement itself is one of the things that I'm like, ooh, this feels really stiff after playing Hornet with such fluid movement. But it's been, like I said, the upside of this is that, you know, this is a very linear version of this type of game, and that has been fun to kind of just, like, get on the train and ride.
Yeah, I will say I got like pleasantly surprised by some of the movement mechanics that cropped up.
Well, and I'm sure just like any other Metroidvania game, it'll open up and the movement will start to feel better and better as you get further into the game. But just those first like couple abilities feel like, I don't know.
Yeah,
they feel okay.
Yeah, definitely understand that feeling of like having your legs taken out from underneath you, especially, I mean, I felt that way going into it, and I haven't been playing Silksong.
It feels like going from like being able to dead sprint to like jogging.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried wall jumping at all in Metroid?
I have not unlocked that ability yet.
It's not an ability you need to unlock. Wall jumping is not.
Like off the ladders?
No, like diagonal jumping between walls to get up somewhere.
I don't have the ability to do that yet.
It's not an ability that you have to unlock. It's just incredibly clunky and hard to do. I was asking if you guys had tried it specifically because I hate it and I think it sucks.
I think it's an
I
ability.
was going to say, yeah, I didn't use any like wall hopping other than an ability eventually that kind of like replaces.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I was trying to get up somewhere by wall jumping before I unlocked that ability, and I was able to do it, but not without great effort and difficulty.
Okay.
It's hard. Because the way that it's described, because I even looked it up because I didn't know that you were going to unlock that ability that you're talking about, Chase, that gets you extra movement up to places. I looked it up, and I was like, how the hell do I get up to this one spot? And they were like, oh, wall jumping. And I was like, well, how do I wall jump? How do I wall jump in Metroid Fusion? So wall jumping is not an ability that you have to unlock. It is like, it's very strange because you have to run up to a wall and jump. But before you hit the jump button, you have to hit the buttons in the direction that you want to go. So, like, look at this. If I go up to the wall and I jump, I have to hit right and then jump. And then I can just jump off the wall. It feels super counterintuitive and strange.
Oh, yeah. That's wild. I did not know you could.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it again.
It's hard.
It is hard. You have to, like, hit the wall, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they don't teach you that you can do that.
Well, I was like, it's fucking Samus. There's no way this woman cannot wall jump. So let me just try this. And then I got it. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Isn't
you
that
could
crazy?
do that the whole time?
Yes, you can do it the whole time, you guys.
I feel personally betrayed. What the hell?
Hey, there we go talking about something with tutorialization. That's something they should have told me.
Well, but This also comes down to the missing that sense of community of being able to talk to a friend and them telling them, hey, do you have any tips or tricks
Yeah.
on it?
You can
Hey,
jump off walls?
so-
What?
Here's something that I bet you didn't realize.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry that you beat the whole game and didn't know that.
No, but hey, that just means because I'm going to guarantee you that moving forward, because I'm going to keep trying out some of these Metroid games,
That you're going to try wall jumping?
I'm going to wall jump because I guarantee you they didn't remove it.
I bet it's just one of those things that they taught you in a game before that they assumed that you had like the base knowledge of going
Right.
into this game, because this is technically the fourth one, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
So-
or like playing Mario Brothers, learning that you can sprint. Do you know that?
I don't know if I have enough experience with the Mario Brothers game,
Oh
to
yeah.
be honest with
in
you.
in the original Super Mario Brothers, I think it's if you hold down B, you'll pick up speed as you run.
I feel like I did know that, but yeah.
But yeah, that's just one of those things. I didn't know that for the longest time until like 7 years after I had stopped playing it. But so that's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Isn't that crazy?
that just makes me appreciate the game even more because that's just a cool little thing that I wasn't even aware of.
Something that I noticed when I was looking through like the Metroid Fusion Reddit community, like, hey, please help me with this, is that in Metroid Fusion, and I think it was Metroid Dread, people complain about the wall jump mechanics because apparently in Metroid Fusion and one other game that I think is Dread, the mechanics are only like that for wall jumping.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Perfect, because that'll be my next jumping in point.
Yeah.
So I'm already prepped.
Yeah.
That's really funny that you played the whole game and didn't know that you could do that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something else that I wanted to ask you guys about is what you thought about the tutorials of Metroid Fusion. Because they don't give you much. You unlock a new ability and then it tells you either how it works or if it's a new button that you need to press to get it to work, it tells you how to use it. And then that's all you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I need, I think. For those instances where they give you a new ability, that's all I really want. I don't want them to, like, pause my screen right before I use it in combat or something and be like, to use this ability, press B. It's like, just tell me that when I get the ability and I'll do it. But,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, in terms of tutorialization, it's kind of hitting the sweet spot for me of, like, not holding my hand, but giving me enough information. Other than that wall jump, that's a little funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it hits it just right. One thing that I will kind of complain about, it's not really in line with tutorialization, but is we touched on, I referenced, I believe it is in the tutorialization episode as well, Oblivion being an example of games not giving you a clear, like, go to this exact location. It'll like tell you like,
yeah.
go here, and like that'll be about where you need to be.
Like quests being something you have to figure out.
Yeah. So my one complaint is having the navigation room system that they have in place of like every time you go through a navigation room, you sit down and you get like a pretty, in my opinion, but I have kind of a low tolerance for things like this. You get like in my opinion, decently long little blurb about, oh, well, you just completed this, but now something's happening over here. So you need to go here to this exact location and do this. Do you understand, or do I need to repeat again?
Is your
Yeah.
objective clear?
And it
And then
happens.
you accidentally press no.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You
And it,
can't skip. There's no button to just skip the whole conversation.
yes, and they
Yeah.
do my least favorite thing with text box of you can hold a button and it'll speed up the rate at which the dialogue appears
Instead of just
just like
skipping to
immediately
the
blurbing
full
like
page.
all the dialogue, one more button press, you're through it. It's no, you
have to hold
need
down.
to take all this in.
yeah. That's something I've noticed too, is the dialogue, like in those navigation moments, just taking a lot longer than I would like them to. But like,
Yeah.
you know, it's also having those navigation rooms is also something that I have liked because it makes your objective very clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only time that I will say that the dialogue, because I didn't really notice that wasn't registered as something that bothered me until you just mentioned that, Chase. The only time that I've noticed that the dialogue not immediately like you hit an extra button and then it's all there. You can skip through it. The only time while playing Metroid Fusion that I noticed that bothered me was when I was fighting fucking Yakuza. And
I haven't gotten
I
there
know
yet.
you haven't gotten there yet, but I was talking to you about this boss. I won't bring up any details because I don't want to spoil it for you. But this boss is hard as fuck. And it's annoying because it puts you relatively far away from the boss fight with your most recent save point.
Oh, so the run back is annoying.
And it loads you in to a navigational objective update.
Oh,
Yep,
no.
that you have to sit through each time.
That you have to... literally, Chase, I'm not kidding. I think I did that boss fight. I told you this, Sam. I think I did that boss fight at least 20 times before I finally cracked it. And so I could probably, like, quote the navigation update. Because it's like, hey, these creatures, do you know them? Oh, okay, they're friendly? Cool. I let them aboard your ship. And you're like, okay, rad, thanks. Okay, now you need to go do this. Is your objective clear? And I'm like, shut up!
Yeah.
Let me out! I have
Where's
to
the
go
skip
fight this
button?
boss.
As soon as I lost that fight and loaded back in, and as soon as I realized, I was like, are you kidding? The way that section is set up is kind of the reverse of like normally how you go, where like you'll get your navigation room and then you'll hit your save spot. Whereas this one, you save first and then you get your like navigation little speech. So when you come back in, you have to go through the entire thing each time.
Yep.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna not like that when I get to it.
Yeah. Well, hey, hopefully you'll just do it on your first try, so you won't
That's-
even know what we're talking about.
I
You're
have.
like, oh,
I think the first boss is the only boss that I had a couple attempts on, because the first boss I was just kind of figuring out how like boss fight mechanics work in Metroid.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the second two I beat my first try. So
Yeah.
I really need you to let me know how you feel about Saris, because
Yeah.
Saris was a trip.
Yeah.
Saris is the next boss that I'm gonna fight. So
Yeah.
I'll probably be able to tell you about that pretty soon.
I can't wait till you, Sam, have fully beaten the game, and also till I have fully beaten the game, so we can really dig into the meat of, like, this boss fight was bullshit. Because I was telling you about this, and I was telling you about this too, Chase. Sorry, listeners. I'm pointing frantically at both Sam and Chase. I'm a very hand movement speaker. This boss fight that I'm talking about that I did like literally 20 times. I'm so serious. That's not an exaggeration. I got to a crash out point where I was like looking up, is this hard? Like, is this actually hard or am I just bad? And then it immediately provided me like a game rant list of top 10 hardest Metroid boss fights. And this motherfucker was like number 5. And I was like, okay, I feel better.
See, I can't wait to hear what you guys think of the final boss, because I'm not gonna lie, fuck that fight.
Oh, I'm not having an easy time with it. That's why I haven't beaten the game yet, because I've done it a couple of times. Get 3 of my energy health knocked off in one hit, and then she does her little fetal position cocoon die animation, and I'm like, I need to go back to Animal Crossing for a little bit. I'm losing my mind.
I've been through the gauntlet of Silk Song bosses, so these bosses have felt like nothing to me.
Like easy mode.
Like going through paper.
So it's funny you say that, because I want to know what your thoughts are, and I like it. It's been a while since I've played a game that like plays like this, so what I can like relate it to would be maybe like the Sonic games, but of like bosses really like you're not just spamming to blast, you're hitting like specific spots that also, unlike more like recent games, say like Resident Evil, it's not like a big glowing, like pulsing, like shoot me radar.
Yeah.
It's like where did I land that hit that I actually did damage? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
That's why the first boss fight took me, I think, 3 tries, is because I was just like figuring out that the like weak spots aren't necessarily telegraphed, and you kind of just have to try. But yeah, after learning that in that first fight, it's kind of just been like, oh, let me just, try shooting it in a couple of different ways until I find how it actually hurts it.
Let me quite literally fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Literally.
So, because I know we talked about last time how when I was playing Metroid Fusion, Sam witnessed me getting stressed and screaming, illegal, illegal. I want to know if you guys have encountered any illegal moments so far in this game.
I've been chilling. It's been a very unstressful game for me.
See, I know why, because I know where you're at. I don't think you've reached the stage of illegal yet. Because
I know it's coming.
if we had the same spot,
The one that I watched.
Yeah, where
I
you're getting chased.
I was gonna say I definitely hit a spot where on my way to it, I took way more damage than I wanted. So I had like 42 HP natural and like 2 more bars,
Yeah.
which that's pretty much one shot from this person.
Mm-hmm.
So attempting to flee,
Well,
I
and this
died
is-
there like 12 times.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about SAX, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, I've encountered SAX one time. Well, not encountered, but like I've seen. That's one of the other things I took notes on is how many times I've seen SAX. So I saw SAX at the top of the elevator before going to sector, or like right after going to sector 1, and then in sector 2, SAX like walks under you in the corridor.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming that the next time I see them, because I just got told, like, if you run into them, run.
Yeah.
Do not engage. Do not engage. Run.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the next time I see them, I'm going to have to run away.
Yeah, I had a very so this is not me complaining. This is not like a negative comment because I had a great time with the game, and
Yeah.
I really by the end of it, with the encounters that I had, I like the character for not character, but I like the encounters with SAX because I know that I stated one of my less favored mechanics is enemies that you just have to run from.
That you
but
can't fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed SAX, but yeah, I've definitely had my illegal moment.
Yeah.
Of get me out of here. Like, no, just stop. You can't do that.
I remember when I saw Kelly running away and like not knowing that she could actually affect
Oh, yeah.
that character yet, and you were just like stuck, and you're like, what is going on? How do I get out of here?
Yeah, and Sam doesn't even have this fucking ability yet. He's like, well, can you freeze her with your missiles? And I was like, oh,
Yeah, well, because
fuck.
I
That
saw
was
you.
my illegal moment.
Oh,
The
when
one
you were-
when you can start using freeze on them was where I was like, no, like do it, no.
Yeah, because I saw you use a freeze missile on something else.
Yes.
And then you were stumped on what you needed to do, and I was like, well, try freezing her.
Well, because at that point, the panic had just purely taken over.
Yeah.
I was not thinking logically. I was just like, I have to get out of here. I have to run.
That's
Well,
fair.
Well, and if it weren't for you guys talking about that last time, I probably would have been in the same situation of just like,
What do I do?
Just
What do I
run,
do?"
just run.
Yeah.
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 I probably won't have the illegal moment because I have prior knowledge.
Hey,
Oh, there's a different illegal moment?
even with prior knowledge of that moment, it might be that chase sequence or the one following it, but
Yeah.
it definitely gets very intense. Even like when you know the path you have to take, it's scary.
Well, my hand, I'm so serious, you guys. My hands are getting damp just like talking about it. Because like once you figure out the path, oh, my fingers are actually sweaty. That's hilarious. Because once you figure out the path, you're like, okay, I know this path. Now it's a matter of dodging and bobbing and weaving and hitting all the buttons at the right time. Like knowing the path does not do shit for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything, knowing the path makes you panic even more because it's like that horror movie moment running to the door with the killer behind you, like
Yeah.
fiddling with the key, like get in,
Yes.
like no, I can unlock it, I can unlock it.
I've done this so many times. Why is it hard right now?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, just like,
I just realized something as well. I'll say it in a second. Sorry.
I was going to say, and something that I also really enjoyed about Metroid Fusion, and I don't know if you, Sam, have done the fuck around and find out for this part yet, and I don't know if you ever did this, Chase, because when the computer's like, if you encounter SAX, just run, don't do anything. So me and my little... my little pea brain, like when you encounter SAX and you're like in that little tunnel under them, and they
You don't
put,
have a pea brain.
thank you, I appreciate you.
So don't say that.
And they put down the bomb to blow up the wall where you can't like get in there initially. I was like, oh, well, they blew up the wall. They're gone. SAX is just going to keep walking. I'm going to poke up my little head. And I didn't know that the game actually has it so SAX will, in fact, detect you if you decide to try and run up behind them and be like, okay, I'm just going to follow you. That bitch kills you immediately.
I'm gonna say I got shot in the ass really fast in that section too.
I was like, okay, surely I can just poke my little head up and go. No, don't do that. Don't do that. She does, in fact, detect you, and she does, in fact, kick your fucking ass.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
While we've been talking about SAX, for some reason it clicked in my
Hardcore
brain.
sax.
Yeah, the sax man, the villain of the game is sax man. No, but like for some reason it clicked on my brain while we've been talking about it that SAX is Samus Aran X.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. That's
I
cool.
I don't know how it was in my brain that Samus's last name is Aran, but for some reason I like remembered it while we were talking about it.
Oh, my God, you're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just
so
Samus's
cool.
initials and then X.
Well, and so this is going back a little bit, but I had a question for both of you because
Yeah.
I know that I commented on it with you, Sam, and I don't think I was paying like close enough attention when I made my initial comment, and I like had the realization afterwards. What do you think of the way your suit changes?
I love it.
I don't know if I've noticed. Does your suit change whenever you get a new ability?
Yes.
Not always. It does sometimes when you get specific abilities. So, like, for example, when you get the missiles, it doesn't seem to have, like, a cosmetic appearance
Well,
that I
when
think
you press
I noticed.
R1, your gun changes.
But I
Yes.
think when you got the charge beam, I think that had like some slight color changes to
Yes.
that, like where it's like initially that like almost blue fluid looking substance on your armor.
I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention.
Pay attention to that as you move on, because that is very fun. It's
That's
very
cool.
fun.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat touch.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of cosmetic upgrades coming with upgrades like that. So
Same.
as soon as I saw it, like I had one where it did change, but it's like a minor change, and I was like, oh, that I can't like quite tell. That looks different. And then I got another one, and I was like, oh,
That is different.
that's very different. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'll have to look out for that next time I get a new ability, because that is one of my things that I really like too. Is like whenever you get a new ability, it being visually represented on your character.
Yeah.
So I have one more thing in terms of, because I know we're talking about like, oh, this is such a cool little community thing. I didn't know you could wall jump. So another thing that I have for you, Sam, it's going to be most relevant to you because Chase, you've already beat the game. And I hope you knew this as well. The reason I keep saying use the buttons instead of the stick is because they, when Metroid Fusion like originally came out, there was no stick. Like there was no stick to play with. So the buttons are a lot more intuitive with the gameplay, where the stick kind of makes it like harder to control where your blaster is going. But if you're playing with just your buttons and you're trying to get like an angled shot, you know
Hold
to do
L1.
your bumper, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Did
I
you
was
take a while
trying
to
to
figure that
figure
out?
that out for so. Does that make you stand still?
The bumper?
You
Yeah.
can the bumper just angles your shot.
Oh my god!
Did you not
Even
know
better.
that?
Yeah, no. The entire time,
Oh, no.
If you guys could have
Chase!
seen my footage, I was running through rooms like full sprint to get my angle up or like
Oh,
going like
Chase.
down, just because I was like, no, like I need the right angle.
No, buddy, look at that.
Yep, that is super good to know.
All you have
Oh,
to do is
Man.
hold the left bumper, and then to look down with it, you just press down.
This is a prime example of I will steamroll my way through any and all games and miss simple things that are fully intended to be used throughout the entirety of it.
That hurts.
That's-
I'm so sorry.
That is rough.
That just makes me even happier because you know what? I did it.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, though, that is fucking impressive, particularly for that one boss fight that I can't talk about right now because Sam
Yeah.
hasn't beat it yet, where you
Yeah.
specifically have to do only angled shots and not run into this boss to die.
Yeah.
How the hell did you do that, dude?
I'm gonna try and speak about this as coded as possible.
Or should we just save it? I don't know.
Well, no.
This is good radio.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to talk about this
So-
as vaguely as possible.
You know where it starts when the fight starts,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
I was literally treating it like you're supposed to treat big animals. So I would run at it, as I said, so that I could get my angle, and then I would stop and run back, and then I was literally just running back and forth the entire time.
Oh my
I
god.
feel so bad for you that you didn't know you could just hold
yeah.
the left
No,
bumper.
you know what? I'm wearing that as a badge of pride
No,
now.
that's- you
like,
should.
I did that.
No wall jump and no standing still and angling shots.
To be fair, I knew the wall jump like pretty much from the beginning, and I don't think it got me any extra places, to be completely honest. I
Yeah,
probably
think
could have
I
if
feel like you can you like jump back and forth?
if you work really fucking hard, yes.
Oh, then it could probably get you some places where
Yeah.
the high jump is required.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Something I will say about the wall jump is that it's easy to do the first time, very hard to chain off of. And so if you guys don't have anything else really to say about Metroid Fusion, I have one more good little wrap up question, I think, so we can move on to our next topic.
Yeah, I mean, this is just our first impressions, so
Yeah.
I'm down to move on after this.
So I am really, really curious to know what you guys think about Metroid Fusion in context of like how it holds up in comparison to other Metroidvania games. Because in a lot of scenarios, I feel like there's an instance of like, oh, well, this game walked so other games could run. But I feel like Metroid Fusion honestly took off at a fucking sprint.
You know, I'm gonna try and jump on this first because
Yeah.
Sam has a broad, like, even if
Yeah.
it is like more like not as broad can be, but has a broader scope on this style of game than me. I was really surprised because, like I said, I don't really have, at least as far as I'm like consciously aware, much of a nostalgia bias towards Metroid. I played a little bit as a kid, but I was never like, oh, Metroid's the best. Metroid's my favorite game. So I really think it holds up like super well. Because like, I mean, I've played Blasphemous. I played a little bit of Hollow Knight, but I don't really tend to focus on like that style of game. And for me, those were more, yes, they're Metroidvanias, but I played them more like a Dark Souls experience just because of the way like the death system works in those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say this holds up like incredibly well, which I think is why I'm very excited to try Dread. Like I
Yeah.
had no interest in that whatsoever until I played Fusion, and now it's like, oh, I'm really glad that there is like a new iteration on it that I could jump into if I want.
Yeah, and something that's so interesting about that, and I want you to answer this question as well, Sam, I just don't want to lose my train of thought completely,
Oh, of course.
is that Metroid Fusion, I think, is genuinely the first real Metroidvania game that I have ever played.
Well, it's just a Metroid game.
What did I say?
Metroidvania.
Yeah, well, no, I know, but like, I'm serious. Like, I think it's genuinely the first game in that genre that I've ever actually given genuine thought and effort to play.
Yeah.
Because Sam, like I said last episode, Sam has really been wanting me to play Hollow Knight for quite a while anyway. I played Metroid Fusion before I played Hollow Knight. I've never played Blasphemous. So seriously, Metroid Fusion is the first Metroidvania game I have ever played. And so that's how I'm like, oh, well, I think this game holds up beautifully, because there are definitely times when playing this game that I'm like, okay, this movement does feel a little bit clunky, but for the most part, I think the game thinks. I think the game feels, plays, looks fantastic for its age.
Yeah, I was very surprised with like graphically. It's a good looking game.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it looks really good. I won't contest that at all. I will say, because earlier I said that I've only played a couple of Metroidvanias, and that's true. But I've played Hollow Knight. Now I'm playing Silk Song. I've played Blasphemous, and I've played Animal Well. And those games obviously have, like you said, they're standing on the shoulders of giants. They're taking that baseline idea and building upon it. And one of the things in contrast to those games with Metroid Fusion is that like the fluidity of movement is very different. And that's just, I feel like that might be the only way that Metroid Fusion shows its age, is like the kind of clunky nature of some of the movement abilities. But I mean, in terms of comparing it to these newer ones, basically I would just say that I think Metroid Fusion has aged pretty well. Like, my issues with the movement mechanics and like the like game feel have not stopped me from enjoying it. It's just, it feels a little less fluid and a little less like intuitive. Obviously, there are some stuff that I didn't even know I could do, and maybe that will help add to some of that feeling. But I will say that like these newer Metroidvanias feel like in a league of their own comparatively. I wouldn't say that like I look at Metroid Fusion as like a bad example of that kind of game. It's just the seed that grew into this other very, very widespread genre now. You got games like Animal Well that's technically called a Metroidvania. You got games like Blasphemous, which is a little more like, I would say probably a little more faithful to the genre in general, adding in some of the Souls-like elements. And then you got Hollow Knight, which does a similar thing. But yeah, I think it's, I would say it holds up in general.
And you know what, guys? I've actually just realized, like, within the last 5 minutes, I unintentionally did myself a huge service that Metroid is the first Metroidvania game I've ever played.
Yeah, because now it's only up.
Exactly, Sam, because you're talking about how the only thing that you really notice in terms of Metroid Fusion with its age is, like, the lack of fluidity for some of the movement. Yeah, this is the first movement set I've ever experienced in any Metroidvania game.
Well, it's not even the movement set. It's just like the feeling of the movement. Because going from Silksong to this was a little bit of a rough, a rough change.
Well, and it should be. That makes total sense. So that's kind of, I'm feeling like really excited because I'm like, oh, this is my first Metroidvania game, and so now everything can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and honestly, like, makes me really really excited to check out Dread.
Yeah.
Because
to see how they iterate on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Fusion is obviously, it's a product of its time. With the fluidity of motion, that's something that, the software at the time, that adds holdbacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so to see what they might have cooked up now, modern, with far more backing financially than like these amazing indie Metroidvanias, it's I'd really hope for something big.
You'll have to let me know when you get started on Metroid Dread, because I would love to treat it like a book club almost and play it alongside you so we can yap about it.
Absolutely.
Even if it's like not necessarily on the podcast, I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what bosses you're having trouble with, any tips you have for me, all that good stuff, because I really fucking miss that.
Yeah, I would love to jump into it after I beat Fusion as well, but I think I'll probably have to stick with Silksong until I finish that, before I start another one.
Yeah.
But I think, Kelly, if you don't have any more questions, we can move on to our conversation about handhelds in general.
No, that's it. That's all I've got for Metroid Fusion questions for right now. That was a long first thoughts segment, but I had a lot that I wanted to say about it. I really appreciate you guys letting me assign you gamer homework in the first place.
Yeah, it's been fun having me and Chase play the same gamer homework. That's been a fun difference from the last time.
It has. Well, and it's been a gem. Like, something I probably would have never taken the time to go and find myself, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Anytime you guys want another, you just let me know. I'm around. I'll come up with something weird and funky for you to play.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I'll assign you guys my my old used to be a mobile Korean dating game.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, you have no reason. You have no reason not to play it because I own several of them.
I have every reason not to play a mobile game dating thing. It's not really my field of expertise.
You said you didn't have enough experience in dating games to talk about it on the podcast.
Well, we can figure that out in a different way. But before we move on, I'm gonna go pee. All right, we're back from our little bathroom break, and now it's time to. Oh, Chase, you forgot to go to the bathroom.
Oh no, I sprung a leak.
Now that we are back, it's time to talk about handheld gaming.
Oh yeah. So, what are your guys' favorite handheld games?
So I have definitely, as much as modern time has pushed me further away from them, I was always a Nintendo kid growing up. So like I I was a Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, first DS. I think of the DSs, the only iteration I didn't have was the DSi.
Oh yeah.
So I have always been big on Pokemon.
I love some Pokemon. I haven't played the more modernized Pokemon games. I think the last Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Go. And I just couldn't ever really get super into it, to be honest with you. It wasn't really my deal. I think it was one of those I think it was one of those weird you had to be there, it was COVID games for me personally.
Yeah, I played Pokemon Go for like 2 weeks and then lost interest very quickly.
I was always a Pokemon Sapphire girl. Loved
Okay.
Pokemon Sapphire. Mudkip was my first ever Pokemon. 6-year-old me named him Blue. I loved Blue.
Yeah, my experience with handheld gaming started a lot later in life, so I don't really have any experience with I never had Nintendos growing up. I never had a PSP or anything like that, but the first Pokemon game I played was on an emulator in high school on my phone.
Whoa.
So my only real experience with Pokemon is playing through Pokemon Yellow on my phone.
Okay,
That's the only
classic.
Pokemon game I've played all the way through, and then the rest was just watching the show.
Sam, I know you're late to the party of handhelds. I think you said your first was the Switch.
Yeah, my first handheld of any kind was the Switch back in 2017. And yeah, I feel like growing up, I kind of sometimes felt like I was missing out. But to be completely honest, I didn't have much of, if any, interest in getting a handheld of my own. Maybe that's just because I didn't have any to begin with, so I didn't really know what I was missing out on. It's more of like, looking back now, I feel like I missed out with that whole aspect of childhood, having like a DS or whatever. But back then I didn't really know what I was missing out on. So, but when I got the Switch, the first game I played was Breath of the Wild, and then Mario Odyssey was like shortly after that. And then my first time playing all the way through Hollow Knight was also on the Switch. So, you know, I honestly, those are like the only games that I've beaten on the Switch. You know, there were a lot of party games on the Switch, but like I still didn't really use it like a portable, like it was portable. I could take it places, but I just sat in my room and played it.
Yeah.
My only real childhood experience with like portable gaming is from when me and my brother would be in the car on long rides going to our grandparents' house. It was a 10-hour drive, and my dad got us these monitors that could go on the back of the like headrests, and we would just play our PS2 in the car, which was awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, you say, oh, I feel like I might have missed out a little bit looking back on the handheld set. I was missing out on being able to play Sly Cooper on the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was usually like we would play like SSX Tricky or like Tony Hawk.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Miss me with the motion sickness.
Literally, instead, it's me, my parents, and my brother in a car on like a 16-hour drive for summer vacation, plugging my Nintendo DS Lite into the cigarette lighter and having to haul a blanket over my head so I could see the screen of my DS in the back seat.
That's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny, but now having the Switch, and then, you know, as the Switch 2 came out, I saw the price tag on that and I was not super interested. And Chase, when we started doing this, one of the episodes that we recorded at your house, you let me hold your Steam Deck and play around with it for a second. And that kind of swayed me, and I made my decision in that moment that I was going to buy a Steam Deck instead of a Switch 2. And so I've been definitely enjoying playing handheld with the Steam Deck. But I think one of the coolest aspects of the Steam Deck that I've enjoyed is sitting down and playing Hollow Knight Silksong like in bed or on the couch or whatever. And then whenever I've kind of had my fill of that, just being able to like close out of the game on my Steam Deck and then have the cloud save sync to my computer and then go into the office and play it on the computer when I want to sit in my computer chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
excellent.
That like ability to just jump from the handheld to my PC has been really cool to have the option of.
Something that my nosy ass really likes is that when I'm at my computer and you're in our room on your Steam Deck, I can open the little Steam interface page and see what you're playing on your Steam Deck and how much charge your Steam Deck has.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
I didn't know
so
it showed you the charge.
I think it does. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for a time for your battery to get low. You're going to get a text from me that's going to be like, charge your Steam Deck.
Oh, don't worry. I'm aware.
See, well, and it's kind of funny. So you, to a degree, have kind of been spoiled as far as handhelds.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
Oh,
By
yeah.
far.
like you said, you feel like maybe you missed out a little bit on the old ones, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't put in a good amount of time on my handhelds. But back then, games that were coming out on handhelds tended to be a lot more gimmicky. Whereas like, yeah, now it's cool. Like I can play Silk Song on the deck and then go hop on my computer and not miss a beat.
Yeah.
But a lot of the old games would be very one note. Like think of any console movie adaptation game you might have played.
Yeah.
And that was 90% of my experience with handhelds.
Yeah.
I played a lot of the Bionicle ones, which were glorified platformers,
Yeah.
and some Power Ranger ones. And they probably didn't need to have been made, admittedly. Looking back and really thinking about the depth of gameplay was not really there for most handheld things at the time, in my opinion.
There's like a level of, it's funny because like what you're saying is like obviously true. I've been spoiled with handhelds, but there is that like, there's almost like a FOMO for your nostalgia that like I don't have any nostalgia for handheld gaming because I never
Yeah.
grew up with it. But like, Kelly, the thing you described of like hiding under a blanket so you could see your screen, like that's just a funny like memory. That's a nice memory to have.
You specifically saying hiding under a blanket just tickled me so deeply because I have a very, very vivid childhood memory of hiding with my Nintendo DS Lite under the blankets way later than I was supposed to be awake as like a 6-year-old, right? And my parents would come in to check on me and I would hear them walking down the hall. I'd slam my DS shut and then pull a blanket over my head and just wait. Okay, they're gone. Okay, back to Nintendogs.
That's so
See,
funny.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say that has to be a pretty universal handheld memory. So that is one thing you probably did, I will say, miss out on, the rush of slamming it shut to try and like hide it away. Like, no, I've been asleep this whole time.
That pretending to be asleep thing is definitely a universal experience.
Absolutely.
My experience with that is just like having the TV on and like pretending that I fell asleep watching it, and then my mom comes in to turn my TV off, wake back up, quote unquote, and turn the volume way down, but turn the TV back on and keep watching.
Let me add a little extra to the pretending to be asleep. I remember this vividly as well. Before I had my own Nintendo DS Lite, my brother had, I remember them so vividly. He had like the chunky DS ones, like the metallic finish ones. He had a blue one and a gray one. Don't ask me why he had two. I can't remember. But Corey would be asleep in the room next to mine, because that's like how our childhood home was. His room was right down the hall from mine. So it'd be late. My parents would be in bed asleep. Their door would be closed. And Corey was a heavy sleeper. So I would sneak into his room and steal one of his DSs and take it back to my room and play it.
That's awesome.
And then I would stay up way too late and then deliver it back to his room and then go to sleep.
That's really funny. Yeah, I feel like my experience with stuff like that is just waiting until my parents are asleep or at least in their bedroom, and just sneaking down to like the console, like sneaking down to play PS2, because it was like off in a little nook, like it was around a corner and like not visible from the stairs. So I could just go down there, turn the volume all the way down, and then like just hang out until I got caught or until I went to sleep.
What a unique feeling but universal experience to have, like, probably every single gamer who was a gamer from a kid
Oh yeah.
to like have that experience of like, ooh, it's past my bedtime, I'm gonna play my game.
Well, and I'm sure that, even people who don't play games experience that with other things.
Yeah.
But
Nothing can top the heart racing thrill of having an angry parent scream at you at 3 a.m. because they need to go to sleep and you've been too loud.
or the funniest experience that I had is the night before a final in high school, playing Counter-Strike all night at a LAN party that your friends are, because I was still in high school, but my friends had all graduated, and we were all hanging out and having a LAN party that my brother set up, but I had school the next day for a final. And it's like 5 a.m. My mom's coming out into the kitchen. We're all in the dining room with our computer set up around the table. I'm still playing Counter-Strike, and she's like, "Did you ever go to bed?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. I only have one test today."
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
And I stayed up all night. I went to school. I took my final. I came home, and then I went to sleep, and then I don't remember anything after that. But yeah, so I have like very minimal nostalgic memories for handheld gaming. But like, what are some games that you guys have some nostalgia for, like with handhelds?
before I get to like childhood nostalgia, I know I talk about this like every episode that I'm on here, is that I love Stardew Valley. Everyone knows this already, but like when I was talking about like handheld nostalgia,
I don't think you've said that on this podcast.
that I love Stardew. Yes, I have.
Oh, I'm just silly.
We talked about the haunted chocolatier.
Oh, cut this out, idiot.
Stop.
So leave it in, beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. A game that I have very specific nostalgia for, not necessarily from childhood even. And I know I was talking about how like Pokemon Go was such a unique COVID you had to be there experience. Mm-hmm. Stardew Valley is also that for me. Because I have very, very vivid memories. I even have a video somewhere in my phone. It's the funniest thing in the world. My parents would kill me if they knew that I was doing this in college. But because all of the classes were remote and because they weren't sure how to navigate, like, well, we've never had like our entire class, like school from home. So you guys can keep your cameras off to retain your privacy. Before they realized that that was a catastrophically bad idea, I was at my desk, passing all my classes, doing my thing, playing Stardew. There's a video of me somewhere recording myself talking about playing Stardew in class, and one of my professors goes, "Kelly, what did you think about the reading?" And I go, "Oh God." And then I like put on my Switch, unmute my mic, and I'm like, so I thought this passage was really interesting because if you compare line 48 to line 92, blah, 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 blah.
Sneaky.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Yeah. What about you? Any childhood nostalgia, you guys?
So for me, most of mine really does sit with Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And like there's so many memories tied to that. My first one I looked up in preparation for this. My very first Pokemon game was Pokemon Crystal, which was apparently one of the worst selling of the Pokemon games, but still one of the top selling games of the Game Boy. So I thought that was really interesting to find out.
That's funny.
But I started off with that, which for our Pokemon fans out there, I believe is Gen 2. Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile are your starters. But so that definitely ingrained, those are my favorite of the starters, just because that was where I started. And I continued to play pretty much every single Pokemon game, all the way up until Arceus on the Switch. At that point, I enjoyed Arceus, and then kind of took a step back when Scarlet and Violet came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
But when I booted up the old Switch to jump into Fusion, I found out I had bought the re-release of Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm definitely thinking I'm going to have to put some time back in on that. Because I can remember, and shout out and big apologies, Nathan. Way back in the day, we traded some Pokemon together, and I believe at one point you left me your cartridge, telling me to trade myself a certain Pokemon, and I did. But I think I also lost another like 2 or 3 of yours, and I mean lost because I don't, I did not have them, but I could not find them in your thing anymore. Whenever I went to send it back to you, so I'm so sorry.
Devastating.
But yeah, God, I loved Pokemon, man.
You're making me want to get back into Pokemon Sapphire. I'm missing my Mudkip build right about now.
I didn't realize we were in a gamer confessional.
My gamer confessional, my brother, Corey, I'm super sorry that I accidentally deleted your Harvest Moon Nintendo DS save and then lied about it.
No.
R.I.P. his farmer in Harvest Moon, Joel. Yeah.
Rip Joel.
Rip Joel.
Joels are never lucky, apparently. Good Lord.
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait to recommend this podcast to my brother and then be in trouble 2 weeks later and not remember why. So a handheld childhood nostalgia. So I actually brought down in anticipation for this conversation, I brought down my OG Nintendo DS Lite that I bedazzled when I was about 12. And I have so many game cartridges in here. Actually, not even game cartridges, game packs. For those who remember, PAKS, game packs. And my biggest childhood nostalgia game that I've been talking about it more and more the last couple of weeks, and it's made me really want to play it again, especially with getting into Hollow Knight a little bit, especially with getting into Metroid Fusion, is Secret Agent Barbie. I loved me some Secret Agent Barbie. Oh my god. That game, unmatched. Probably it's terrible if I go back and play it, but it still was so fun.
But through those rose-tinted glasses, everything looks good.
No, exactly. And like genuinely, that's why I'm so grateful for so much of that childhood nostalgia, because if I tried to play any of these games without the nostalgia, I would be like, oh, these are dog shit. But I love to play a dog shit game with nostalgia and be like, oh, this is the best game ever.
Well,
I'm suddenly 6 years old again, hiding under my blankets.
It's also really fun to find out that, oh, it's not dog shit sometimes. Sometimes they actually do hold up.
Sometimes you have the moment, oh, I was dog shit.
Oh, I just didn't know how to think with my brain yet.
Yeah.
Like going back, like playing Sly Cooper for the first time, actually playing the game instead of just the demo, thinking back and being like, man, how did I like think of myself as a Sly Cooper fan? Like, I know I brought this up on one of the other podcasts, but like even just the demo, I was like, yeah, I'm a Sly Cooper fan.
Yeah.
But playing through the game, I think it definitely held up, and it's fun to find those games that you're worried might not hold up to the nostalgia that you have for them.
Yeah.
But that one definitely did.
Did you guys ever play... No, never mind. I know that neither of you did. I've asked both of you about this separately. I was going to ask yet again if either of you ever played Lost in Blue 2.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, I love that game so much. It's a series. It's a game series. There's Lost in Blue 2. You know, you guys know how numbers work.
I don't know.
Okay, well, there's Lost in Blue 3.
That's a wild assertion of you to make.
So yeah, the idea that I can count up to 5?
Well, I know, right? It's crazy. What a concept. Basically, you and this other girl are shipwrecked on this island, and then you have to choose whether you want to play the boy character or the girl character. Spoilers, everybody. Always pick the boy character because the girl cannot fucking climb as high, which sucks and makes me so mad. Anyway.
That is fucked up.
It is fucked up,
Didn't
dude.
realize we were putting gender politics into games back then.
Oh my god, it made me so upset because
they were inherent in that era.
Oh,
True,
it made me so upset. It made me so upset because with the girl, I remember vividly that with the girl, you had to be able to climb 1 block at a time, like a little stair stepper. And with the boy, you can climb up to 2 blocks at a time. So he can reach higher places than the girl. Anyway, sorry guys, I digress. Lost in Blue 2, survival game where you and this girl are shipwrecked on an island. You have to go around and scavenge for food. You have to sometimes make new weapons to fight animals to unlock a new area so you can eventually get to the end of an island, light a big ass fire, and get yourself rescued. It's so fun, and it's brutal for a kid's game because the whole thing is that you have 3 stats that you have to keep track of for yourself and the girl. You're caring for yourself and also this girl who just sits in the cave. She's your dependent. It's crazy. Where you have to keep track of your energy. You have to keep track of your food and your water. And if your water gets all the way to 0, you're dehydrated and you get a little X across your stomach icon for food and you start to die so fast. It's so scary. I loved this game, but was also like traumatized by it.
I mean, I can tell you loved it because you have a lot of memories about it.
I got a lot to say about Lost in Blue 2. I've never beaten it, but I've gotten real far towards the beginning in like 7 different saves.
I'm impressed that you could just rattle off all of that information about a game you haven't played in years because I don't think I could do that.
It's
like thinking back on a game that I played as a kid, I probably just remember like thinking of like maybe the first PS2 game I played, Pac-Man World 2. I remember a frog boss, and that's it.
It all comes back to my really keen memory for very strange and random details. Because if you asked me to list off someone's order from the Burger Shop games, I could tell you someone's order from the Burger Shop games and all the variation of their food order right now.
I'm good.
Businessman?
No, I'm good. You don't need to do that.
Hamburger, French fries, large cola. Sometimes with ketchup on the hamburger.
You're
sometimes
activating
with ketchup
me.
on the fries.
I am a sleeper agent. You've activated me.
Said next in line.
Next in line, the clown. He likes an empty fry container
No.
with ketchup, ranch, and mustard. A vanilla Coke float. Sometimes a vanilla milkshake with mustard.
That's cursed.
It's so cursed. Fatal flaw, actually, that I just realized you can't put condiments on the milkshakes. I was thinking of the vanilla ice cream bucket with cherries. He sometimes like mustard or ketchup on it.
I'm so blown away.
I've got more. We'll do it later.
No. We can't.
We'll finish it up.
We have to find something to like talk about that'll end the podcast, not send you into a spiral.
Kelly actually runs the Wikipedia.
I wonder if there is.
No. This is not the intention. We're not continuing this.
All right. Anyway, sorry guys.
Yeah. Well, I know we've been sitting and talking about these for a minute now. I'm curious. You think you're gonna potentially step down memory lane at all after this? I'm roping you in.
My nostalgia for handhelds is only 8 years old, so I mean, at some point I'll probably go back and play Breath of the Wild again to get to Tears of the Kingdom, but that shit's $70 and I'm not too excited to spend $70 on it.
Fair.
But I mean, I'm excited to finish Metroid Fusion and maybe check out some more Metroid games and make some new memories. How about you, Kelly?
I mean, I gotta tell you guys, I've got my Nintendo DS Lite sitting right here in front of me, and it's making me pretty damn tempted to get pissed at Lost in Blue 2 all over again.
I'm not surprised with how much you had to say about that. I'm not surprised that you would want to play it again.
Well, my biggest issue is that my Nintendo is so dearly loved that there's a dead spot on the touchscreen and one of the bumpers doesn't work, so I don't know how far I'm gonna even get in it. I might try anyway, but... yeah, I mean, you know, I love to walk down memory lane, so I definitely see myself returning to some of my Nintendo DS Lite classics. Might revisit some of my old haunts to see what's what.
Nice. Well, my friends, I think that has been this episode of Resync. If you made it to the end, thanks for listening, and if you like what you heard, you can follow us at ResyncCast on Blue Sky. And you can find Resync on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Feel free to leave a rating as well. That always helps.
Word of mouth is great, so if you like the podcast, let somebody else know about it, you know?
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your mom, dude. We've already established that I try to explain things like I'm talking to my mom.
Kelly's got a fixation on mom.
I was going to say, let it be known, Chase accepts all moms here.
Oh, wait a minute.
But until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Synchronization complete.